feel like sometimes life is really mental.
Dude, that's actually a really good name for a podcast.
Question. Someday you just wake up and you're just like, I'm just not passionate about this. You think you would jump ship?
Yeah, I do actually. Right now, I think I actually would. There's so many passions I've wanted to pursue, and I've been so focused on one thing, and now I'm like, oh, I really don't want to die before I get to try different things.
Hey everyone, welcome to Really Mental, the podcast where we want you to know that no matter who you are, you're not alone. If you're new here, be sure to follow us on our socials at Really Mental Media and make sure you share your story with us. We'd love to hear from you. Welcome to part 2 of our conversation with eaJ and Millennial Therapist. eaJ is an incredible singer-songwriter known for making songs like Car Crash and his recent EP, Medicated Insomnia. And Millennial Therapist is an existentialist, psychotherapist, and has a hit book, It's On Me. And I'm so excited to have them both back for part 2 of this conversation. Today, we're going to be talking about how to pick your career and also understand your purpose in the world with that. And we're also going to talk about some of the feelings of being lost that come from trying to figure yourself out and what you want to do in life when there's so many options to choose from. So without further ado, we're going to hop into this conversation, part 2 of our chat with eaJ and Millennial Therapist. Let's get into it.
That takes so much courage. What about you, Will?
So is your answer no?
I just, the logical side of my brain, like, I guess it kind of just like drowns out all the, but are you happy? But are you doing what you should be doing?
That's deep. No, this is really important what you're saying. I think a lot of people are going to resonate with this. I think the whole "are you happy" question, I had not asked myself that until my mid-20s. And I think some people never ask themselves that question because they're too scared of the answer and they don't know what to do about it if the answer is no. So they just avoid it. And yeah, maybe you don't know what you want to do, but chances are it's going to, at least you're giving yourself a chance to be happy because you know this is not making you happy.
Honestly, right now it's a bad time to ask me. Like I prefaced before, and for everyone listening, I'm probably not in like the most like stable situation to analyze myself or to like analyze exactly what I'm thinking in my head. So some of the things I say maybe are kind of all over the place. I'm kind of in a place right now, and I've been here before, where like nothing really makes you feel happy. You're not really passionate about anything.
Do you remember a time when like you were happy, and when was that time?
For me, is always based off success. I feel like a lot of people that especially work in that mental health field usually will tell me, hey, you can't base your happiness off your success because that's a never-ending loop. But bro, like nothing else makes me happy.
I also think as a society, we have this weird notion that we should be happy all the time. Like happy is a state of existence. And I don't think so. I think happy is an emotion that you'll have once in a while. But I think it's kind of strange that we're like, I don't think we should be permanently happy or try to be permanently happy because that's just impossible. I think we should live a meaningful life. I think we should live a fulfilling life. But those moments of joy and excitement and happiness are going to be moments. And so I think sometimes we set ourselves up too high. And then when we're not happy all the time, we think there's something wrong with us. And I think having lows is okay. You just need to monitor them.
Wait, that's so true because like in society, when you like see a friend, you're like, hey, you good? Like just off the bat, that's
No.
a prerequisite. Like, you good? Oh yeah, I'm good. It's not, oh, I'm okay. If they say I'm okay, you're just like, all right, so what's wrong?
Yeah, exactly.
What? That's so true. Not everything should just be.
And we impose it on each other. We're like, oh, a lot of people don't ask, are you happy? They go, oh my gosh, you must be so happy you got a promotion. They don't go, hey, you got a promotion. Are you happy? It's like there's so much imposition of like, you must be happy about this, or wow, that must have felt. And we actually impose positive emotions on other people, which is fascinating.
When like I've had like my best moments career wise, I've probably been like more stressed and like sometimes actually like miserable in a way. And I'll explain the miserable part. Miserable because I thought that would be the thing which could solve my pain,
Oh, wow.
absolve me of having to deal with any of life's problems anymore. And then you get there and you realize, why in my mind did I just wait all of this time
and I actually got here and it's all for nothing because it doesn't change how I feel internally. And in fact, my brain just set the benchmark to the next thing already as soon as I got it. It's like, it's makes you feel really disconnected and also ungrateful because it's like, oh, I know I should be like that's the word, should. I should be appreciating this time.
Yeah. Is it like you attached that goal and then once you hit it, you thought something revolutionary or something would change and you'd feel better?
I think a lot of people have. I love that you're talking about this, Will, because I think so many people think once I reach this, once I have that, I'll be happy or everything may fall into place. And then they reach it and they have a crisis because they realized it didn't. And now they don't know what the heck to do another goal, but secretly they know that won't do it either. I'm so glad you're talking about that because I see this all the time. And that's why when people equate success to happiness, someone was like, yeah, but when you reach where you thought you wanted to reach, chances are it's not going to make a difference. And that's like a horrifying truth.
So Jay, when you were having that question of like, you know, is this making me happy, or like what is this for? Like that's such a relatable question. And I don't hear people talking about it, but I just have felt that at certain times, and particularly in moments of burnout. Like, what am I living my life for? Is it to be the best version of myself or to be the most successful version of myself that I think I can be or achieve? And those are two very different things.
Oh, I've actually been thinking about that a lot. You guys have caught me at a very interesting time because I used to be very religious too, and now I'm like questioning everything. So, after having talked to so many people about like, well, the religion thing aside, just like essentially like, what are we here for? I think the conclusion that the people that I see, and obviously I don't know, but they seem happy. They seem content with where they are, and they seem like they're having a good time in this thing called life. Something that I've been trying to like really consider is maybe, sorry, my head's all over the place, but what I'm trying to say is what they thought and what a lot of these people who I thought were really happy were thinking was maybe this life is just supposed to be lived and you're just supposed to try to be a good person. Is that a possibility in your guys' mind at all?
No, I mean, I love that you're grappling with it. I think that's the only way to live a life that you want. And I do honestly think it's pretty subjective. For some people, that's going to be a life of service. For some people, that's going to be achieving goals. For some people who believe in God, it's going to be doing his will or service around that. And I don't think I'm pompous enough to think I have it figured out, but I do encourage people to find their own why. And I think talking to people is helpful as long as we realize that their definition of living a worthy life might be different than our own. I don't think there's a wrong answer. I think, an exercise I like to do is like you're 100 on your deathbed. What are you going to regret?
Yeah.
What are you going to be proud of? And that can be a pretty good indication of like, do you have family, friends around? Are you on a bed of cash? I don't know. Are you like, what is the situation? When you look back at your legacy, is it there and what is it? And so I think sometimes we can work backwards as well, just as like a thought experiment.
What do you want from life?
Well, that's such a hard question because honestly, off the top of my head, just no thought, head empty, the first gut reaction I had was success. Success not because I think it might be a little bit different than how some people view it. I don't think success will lead me to something, but to me, I think it's proving it to myself that I'm worth people's time.
I've talked about this before in terms of like, I personally don't think worth is something we earn. It's just something you need to recognize about yourself. And I hope that that's the place you come to. I mean, you're allowed to want success. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be successful. I think how you define it is what it's either going to be helpful or not helpful for you. And I think whenever we place our worth in other people's hands, that's really tricky. And you are going to have just as much worth now as you will if you become the top K-pop star of all times, because in reality, your worth doesn't actually fluctuate with your level of success. I think that's like an important thing to keep in mind as you're defining success for yourself.
Interesting. What do you guys want out of like this whole thing, this whole journey?
I think that
Ooh.
what I want is to, and it is also is healing the version of myself, younger self, but I want people to know that whatever stage they're at in their life, if they're like so depressed or, bullied every day, that like you don't have to feel alone in your struggle. And as an extension of that, you can go on to achieve more than you ever could have imagined. And I think what drives me, and part of it is also wanting to be seen as well. Like I have to make sure I'm like seeing myself, because like, when you put out art, technically I could just like, we could just hold on to these conversations, hold on to music, but we put it out for a reason as well. But I think like what I really want to do is to be able to have a level of success where I could say to any kid in high school and growing up, like, if I could do that, then like you can too. And no matter how you see yourself, like you can turn your life around and like really achieve something, whatever it means for you.
That's awesome.
No, I think I'm 100% impact driven. Obviously, I am career driven a lot, and that's something I've tried to monitor with myself. Because although I think when you work in a helping profession, it's easy to justify it. And then you have to kind of call yourself out, because still lack of balance in your life, even if you're doing it for good, doesn't necessarily translate for good for you. And so I think for me, impact is really important. But I don't know, I just thought about it on the spot, but I just want to have fun. Not in like a
Yeah.
hedonistic, like whatever way, but like I want to enjoy this life I'm given. It's still a gift. I mean, like I'm still here, and that's how I perceive it at this moment. And in my lows, I'm sure I didn't perceive it as a gift, but I just feel like I want to enjoy it. I want to try things. I want to play with it. I want to experience it. And like that's more of a personal goal. And then I think what overarching like legacy for me is impact, alleviating suffering, or providing psychoeducation, or really being open to whatever opportunity comes next. But impact is a huge one for me.
That's awesome. I'm so lost, guys. I don't know what's happening.
I really feel the lost part, because dude, sometimes like there's part of my life where I even feel lost in a certain degree. Like, I think relationally, I am like trying to rediscover what my life is going to look like in that regard over the next year. And I feel like whilst I have a good sense of like where I want to go career wise, I now have like this thing of like, I don't really know like what I want from like that part of my life at the moment. I'm trying to figure that out, like in a relationship sense, like a partner. And I sort of hope that I'd be in a relationship at this point. I guess what I'm saying is like I can still resonate with that, like even though sounds like it's something different, I think there's like parts of life where it's like there's just so much to life that it's okay to feel lost in some areas too.
Totally. And I think I hope that we talk about it more, because we're repeatedly going to feel lost. I don't think we figure it out and then we're fine. I think every once in a while we're going to hit a wall and feel completely
Yeah.
disoriented. And I think that's just part of being human. And as long as we take care of ourselves in those moments, I think we're good.
Feel that. And just going off a point that you mentioned, Sarah, it's like you kind of want to just enjoy life. And it's funny you bring that up, because I was watching like this video of like this 98-year-old man who passed away, and he was like a philosopher, and he was introspectively looking at his life, and he's like, these days I feel like I like lay down in the grass and just enjoy things and regret that I didn't enjoy things.
Oh,
So like you hear so many testimonies like that, and
Mhm.
like your brain understands, but your heart just can't accept it.
It's legit why I got a flip phone, guys, 2 weeks ago. I got a flip phone for after work and my weekends, because I just get anxiety when I'm on my phone, because I know there's so much I can be doing, because it keeps me just like I had this moment where I was experiencing something really nice with my family, and I was texting, and I was like, I consciously knew that like I should be present because I was enjoying it. And I couldn't stop myself from having a completely different conversation with someone else. And I think that was a moment where it's like, okay, that's enough. And I think for me, that being intentional and almost being bored is something I want to learn to do again. And
Oh.
I'm really busy with work, so I could fill up my days with work all the time and never be bored. No.
Yeah.
But instead of doing the extra work, it's like, how do I just be? And for me, I'm not suggesting everyone has to get a flip phone. It's a huge, like, it really made such a big difference. So I'm on week 2 and I'm a big fan.
Whoa.
And it really helps. But that's because my thing is like, I don't want to die without living. And I just
wow.
really want to feel aliveness, whatever that means, the good and the bad.
Are you dying to live or living to die?
Whoa.
Whoa.
Writer in you coming out, baby. Write that down.
That's an album name. Someone write that
Yeah,
down.
I mean,
Dying to live or living to die. I want to ask a question, Jay,
Hmm.
and it's gonna frame us to end this conversation, and that is
Oh.
when we check in next. So say if we checked in and we were all sitting here in 12 months' time, where do you want to be?
I don't want to say I want to be happy because I don't know how practical that is. But I feel like I want to have some more things figured out. Like I keep repeating, you guys caught me at a bad time because I like my slump comes like, I think everyone has like little cycles of up and downs, right? Like we were talking about. And as much as I hope I'm on an up next time, I think I would feel much better about myself if next time we talked a year from now, I had some more answers.
that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. And and also thank you so much for having me, guys.
I
Appreciate
really
you
enjoyed
guys.
it. If there was like a song that people would go and play based on this conversation, which song would you send them to?
This whole conversation has really made me think about like upbringing and like how I just feel about a lot of things, and it's made me think about a song called Castle in the Sky that I have. It's about putting someone on a pedestal, and it's not their fault, but like you just do.
And Sarah, for you, where can
Oh.
people learn more about your novel?
So my book is called It's On Me. It's going to be in, I think, 16 or 17 countries. You can probably just Google it, but you can also go on my Instagram, Millennial Therapist, or on my website, Sara Kuburic, and find out more information. Get it? It's about self-loss. That's literally the topic. So if you're feeling lost, this book was written for you.
So thank you so much for both of your time. And to everyone listening, we are all going to get through this, whatever it is for you, whether it's loss or heartbreak, grief, whatever stage you're in, just know that it will pass and you can take actionable steps to get there. And we're going through it too, so you're not alone. So I hope you really enjoyed that episode with eaJ and Millennial Therapist. I definitely did. And that wraps up our conversation and part 2 of our chat with them. If you've made it this far, please be sure to send this podcast to someone you appreciate and think would value this conversation. And also consider rating us 5 stars if you listen to this on a streaming service. We'd love to hear from you and hear your thoughts. So if you have any feedback, thoughts for us, make sure you send them to us at Really Mental Media. And definitely one of the things I picked up today is that having a low period is okay as long as you have the awareness of it and the ability to monitor it and make sure that you can also get yourself out of that place and are taking active steps to feel better about either your purpose, your happiness, whichever part of your life it is. Another thing that I was reminded of that I really liked was finding your own why and what a meaningful life actually means to you. And that's going to be different for everyone based on experiences we've had and what we want to say and do in the world. But have a moment to think about that and ask yourself why that is your purpose and go deeper and deeper. And I hope that can help in some way. We love you. We appreciate you. And we'll see you next week at the same time, Sunday at 10 a.m. PDT. And yeah, we'll see you there for another episode.